about all the times I've been alone. It's like being shut out from the world with no one to call my own. And like sunshine, you came into my heart. You gave my life new meaning. Girl, you gave me a brand new start, baby. Just as long as you need me, just as long as you want me, I'll be around.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome back to Baltimore's Talking Live with your host, Dr. Q. Co-host is me, Aaron Green. And we're back with our guest in the hot seat, Raquel Baldelomar. Miss Baldelomar, we talk about a lot of other things, to health and awareness, to social media influence. Do you have all of these problems in the beginning? Like, do you have health problems when you first started? Or do you have any problems with social media when you got started?
I think the biggest thing for social media for me was that I've been an entrepreneur for the last 16 years. I started my company at 24. I'm 41 years old right now. And I think the biggest thing was, what do I want to post? Because, I'm very busy. I'm trying to run a business, trying to have a life, trying to maintain my own health and wellness and balance. And it does take a lot of time, and posting and having a message, it takes a lot of time. So the biggest problem for social media for me was determining what type of content did I want to post, and also how did I think could I actually bring value to people and share my insights about life, about business, about running a business, about balancing it all in a way that was meaningful to people, and then just developing content about that. So for anyone that wants to quote be a social media influencer, the first step I would say is to think about what are you navigating in your life, and what are you doing, and then what value do you think you can bring people that can help share that. So I thought that I like to post about things about that I think could help other professional women, older women in their 30s to 50 years old, navigate just all the responsibilities of being a professional businesswoman, but also then too, when you're done with that, because as women, we're much more than just workers. We're mothers, we're daughters, we're wives, we're friends. We have, our own, we're playful, we're fun. And how do we balance all of that? And it is a very delicate balance. And so that was what I wanted to focus on. And I think everyone has their own unique perspective about what they can say and post on social media that other people would find really interesting.
Yes, and also you give a lot of advice to a lot of things. Who helps you out in your time of need? Who helps you when you're stressed out and you don't know everything?
What I like, I love listening to podcasts. I love reading. I mean, as a writer, I have to, I really love other really great writers. So I read a lot. I read books. I read articles. But I also find listening to podcasts like, podcasts and radio shows like this, and people who can introduce me to other great thinkers and writers. I really love that. So I think it's these types of podcasts, these types of radio shows that I enjoy listening to, because some of the best friendships I would say I've developed are with people that I don't even know, I've never talked to, but I have spoken to them on podcasts, or I've heard them on podcasts or radio shows. And they've opened my mind to new ways because of people that they've introduced on their shows and their podcasts. So I think that's a big place of where I get a lot of my learnings from. And then other than that, it's just, having a close set of family and friends. But I think we live in a world now where you can get at the tip of your fingertips great content through just listening to great radio shows and great podcasts.
Indeed. I started listening to some podcasts. We don't have the time to, I try not to. I always want to be by myself when I listen to podcasts and other books I didn't read that I bought that I didn't read. So, yes, to go back and look at the read those books is a good thing. Also, can you tell us, always say yes, why you had to take risk to succeed in a business today? Can you talk about that?
only matter to you, that are really important, because you can get pulled in so many different directions. And if you say yes to everything, you're gonna drown. So I'm a big believer in just only saying yes to the things that really that are important, that are going to impact your life, your family's life, your friends' life in a meaningful way, things that you're passionate about, and then everything else, just knowing that it's there. Maybe you can get to it. But a big reason where I think for me, I've seen that my success has come from knowing what to say yes to, and then once I say yes to that, is just executing. Be like, really delving deep into having the depth and the breadth of that, and just becoming a master at that. And by doing that, naturally, I've had to say no to other things. But by focusing on the things that I did say yes to and becoming really good at it, it's helped me tremendously.
Yes, and it's funny because, when you go to businesses, you want to be a people pleaser, but sometimes you have to please yourself first before you got to think about pleasing other people when it comes to work and environment.
That's right. And then ultimately, you will please other people when you please yourself, when you're coming from a place of confidence, and when you're coming from a place of having substance and knowing who you are and what kind of value you can bring to the world. You will actually please other people in a more substantial way.
Yes. And talk about also your conversations with voice coach Roger Love. He basically talked about how to sound like a leader. In today's world, we get so much scared of being a leader, but everybody wants to be a follower. But there's some people that wants to be a leader in their voice. Tell me about that.
Well, that's, Roger Love was a really great person to interview. He works with he works with a variety of people across industries, of people who how to help use your voice in a better way. And I never knew how important your voice was until I started working with Roger. I interviewed him and I read his books, and he really made me realize how people's voices and how they present inflection points, it makes such a massive difference. And one of an example that he gave is how you end your voice. If you end it with some people end their voice with a question mark. It's like, how are you doing versus how are you doing? It's like, and people who kind of constantly end their voice with a question mark, they're naturally not going to be very believable. People are not going to trust them, or they're not going to appear as a leader, or they're going to appear like they're questioning everything. And another example of the pitch of their voice. Some people have a very high pitch, and that may not resonate in a professional setting. So working on elevating your pitch was how to use your pitch and change your pitch is important. Something that Dr. Q was doing earlier too, I think it was wonderful, is that he was using, when he was telling stories, he was actually inflection and using different tones of voice for telling to reflect different people. I think when he was reflecting his grandmother, I think that would be something that Roger Love would say is a great thing to do, because when you're speaking, you're storytelling, to use other people and using different voices to talk about different people is a great tactic, and it makes you a better storyteller. And being a really good storyteller is really important for speaking. And so these are all things that I just didn't know before I met Roger Love. And after I interviewed him, I realized how important your voice is.
This good cue sound effects. Speaking of, you interview a lot of people. What is your greatest interview, and what did you learn from that greatest interview?
I've interviewed, there's so many great people. I would say probably one of the best interviews I've had was with Ray Dalio. He is the founder of Bridgewater. It's probably the largest hedge fund in the world. And he has he came out with a book called Principles. That and what the book calls is it's about having a set of principles that you live by. And it started with work principles. He actually had a set of like just work principles, but then it came to life principles. And if you have a set of life principles that you live by, and then just make sure that everything you do, is that in line with your principles, that it gives you a much better filter of how to view the world. So he was just incredibly fascinating to talk to. He's, renowned in the world of hedge funds, but also just he's almost like this Buddha type of man. And he actually too was the man who, really talked about meditation and how, for him, how meditation kind of makes you kind of like a ninja, and it allows you to just kind of see the world, see attacks coming at you slower, so that you can then navigate them better, so that you can then defend them better. And he was the one who taught me about just how important that meditation was, and which I've adopted into my own practice, and I've shared with my, in my writings and through social media. So I think he was just a fabulous interviewer.
Wow, that's fascinating. Wow. Can I quick tell you what's up for you? Are you going to write another book?
I am. I'm working on my next book right now. It's a creative nonfiction book, and that's based on my life story, based on my life in Bolivia, in my transformation from living in Bolivia to coming to the United States, and kind of my own immigrant story, my own story of becoming a self-made woman. I'm Hispanic, being and all of that is the immigrant side, the Hispanic side, and just all both the sacrifice and the joys and in just everything I've had to live with, and getting to where I am now in Los Angeles. So I'm working on my next book right now. I also founded another a company, an e-commerce company called HPDRX. That founded about 2 years ago, where we sell vitamins and supplements online. So if anyone that wants immunity boosting supplements, really great high quality vitamin supplements, you can go to our Amazon store on Amazon, or our Shopify store, hpdrx.com, and we have some great wellness supplement products online. So that's what I've been working on the last couple of years. And if anyone wants to follow me, you can do so on Instagram. It's R Baldelomar, B-A-R, B as in boy, A-L-D-E-L-O-M-A-R. And would love to hear from your followers.
And yes, and also, do you got a website too that people can talk about you?
Yes, absolutely. You can find me on RaquelBaldelomar.com. That's R-A-Q-U-E-L Baldelomar, B-A-L-D-E-L-O-M-A-R. So, .com.
Wow. It's nice to have you in. I wish I could talk to you all day. Wait a minute, but I got one more question. What is your worst interview you ever had?
Oh, the worst interview. Oh, I don't know if I want to say this. People.
Come on.
Oh, I think I can't. I can't. I don't know if I can say. I will just say that it was the wife of an ex-governor of the wife of an ex-governor of California, who was a very bitter person. But I will. So I will. That's all I will leave it
at. Okay. Give me some advice. But anyway, I would love to talk to you more. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
I wish I can absorb much information from you. I'm reading about your page right now, and also your YouTube channel, which I see some of your interviews and some of your other stuff in it. If you don't know what she is, go search her YouTube channel. It's chock full of goodness and chock full of interviews. Some very inspirational than others. 3 Days in Tuscany, which I saw, which is very good and very promising. But yes, but it's time for us to go. But you got any little questions, anything else to talk to our people in Baltimore?
Thank you so much, Baltimore, for having me. I appreciate it.